Hello, welcome back to SQUAWKA. I'm Statman Dave, and today we're going to be diving into a really interesting tactical video. That, of course, is how Lampard has set Chelsea up so far this season. Make sure, of course, to subscribe if you are new to the SQUAWKA YouTube channel. I'm Statman Dave, and it's time to dive in to the tactics. Under Lampard, Chelsea have set up in a 4-3-3. The drops back, of course, into a 4-5-1 when they've lost the ball. When they gain possession, it's quite interesting. Either they'll directly counter-attack or move to their possession-based shape. Mason Mount, or the left winger, will join Tammy Abrahams along with Christian Pulisic. Ross Barkley will move into a number 10 position, and Jorginho will partner Kovacic in defensive midfield. But also a little bit different to Chelsea under Sarri is both fullbacks will join the attacking unit and get into the final third, leaving 4 players back to deal with the counter-attack. The interesting side there is there's a lot of width from Emerson and Azpilicueta. Emerson, a player that didn't really play under Maurizio Sarri, but has done really well under Lampard. Not only getting forward and getting shots on goal, which is quite interestingly for a fullback, but defensively has won 15 out of his 15 tackles. Chelsea's shape in the final third is this. It's a bit of a 2-2-5-1 shape, with Tammy Abrahams leading the line. The interesting side with Lampard's Chelsea is they've moved on for that real possession-heavy base style and look to counter-attack more, look to break on teams after winning the ball back deep. We saw that against Norwich City, we saw that in spells against Leicester City and Manchester United. The big thing here though is Chelsea score more goals on the break. Chelsea have already equalled the total of goals they've scored on the counter-attack this season, the joint most in the Premier League. But also if you look at Derby, under Lampard they were a very counter-attacking team. They would sit deep in that 4-5-1 shape and then look to break, and it's exactly what Chelsea do. They look to support Abraham quickly, get bodies around him, then look to switch the play for maybe an overlapping fullback or maybe one of the wingers pulling wide. But Chelsea's Lampard are a lot faster in the transition than under Maurizio Sarri. And lastly, we've got to look at shots per game. Chelsea under Lampard love to have a shot on goal, but when Chelsea enter the final third with the football, they will look to get a shot on goal. A real change from Maurizio Sarri's team that were more willing to sort of suffocate their opponent, move the ball to left or right. Jorginho would get over 100 passes, but they wouldn't break teams down. Lampard's Chelsea are shot happy. They've had 18.3 shots in the Premier League this season, which is up from last season's numbers of around 16 shots per game. But also in each of their 3 games, they've outshot their opponents. Lampard encourages his players to shoot from outside the box. We saw that with Harry Wilson last season, who scored more goals from outside the penalty area than any other Championship player. We're seeing that with Tammy Abrahams, Mason Mount, Christian Pulisic, and of course, Ross Barkley, who joins that front 4. But that's sort of the main changes for Chelsea. They shoot when they get into the final third, they counter-attack with speed, and also they like to drop a little deeper before allowing their opponent to come onto them, and then hitting those balls into the channels up to Tammy Abrahams. So we spoke about the overall shape and how Lampard approaches games and the differences with Maurizio Sarri's Chelsea. Now it's time to talk about the key players. The 2 guys that have shone this season for me have been Tammy Abraham and of course Mason Mount on the left wing. Tammy Abrahams is really, really good in terms of a centre forward. He has all the facets to be a complete forward. He's quick, he's strong, he's powerful, he can hold the ball, he can run the channels, he can get in behind. He's got everything to be a really good forward. The interesting side of his game is he has that overall side capacity to not only when Chelsea want to play over a press, like we saw against Norwich City with Kurt Zouma. Kurt Zouma can fire the ball into the feet of Tammy Abrahams, and then Abrahams can link the play with little layoffs. Of course, we saw that for the first goal that Chelsea scored. It was a long ball over the press from Zouma. Abraham brought in Mason Mount, and they switched the play to an overlapping fullback. The ball was cut back, and then again, Abraham was in the penalty area to finish off the move. And that is the really interesting side about Tammy Abrahams. Not only can he bring players in, but when he's in the penalty area, he will look to get into goal-scoring positions. Take his second goal as well. It was a quick transition. This time, in fact, the ball coming from goalkeeper Kepa collected the ball. There was some quick combination play. Kovacic moved to a number 10 area. He received there, and it was into Tammy Abraham's feet, who then again shot from outside the box into the bottom left corner. The interesting side there is that wouldn't have happened under Maurizio Sarri. There been some build-up play through the back before working into the final third. Lampard's Chelsea aren't very direct. There was 14 seconds between Kepa catching the ball and Abraham putting the ball into the back of the net, and that is the strength of Tammy Abrahams. But not only can he play as this target man, bringing players into play, as we mentioned before with the Mason Mount combination play out wide to the Tammy Abrahams goal, but also he can run the channels as an advanced forward. Tammy Abrahams has the potential to be a complete player for Frank Lampard and be his number 9. I love how Lampard has trusted the youngster. Again, Abraham scored 28 league goals since the start of last season. Is going to be crucial if Chelsea want to get into that top 4 and the Champions League next season. So let's move on to another key guy in their side, and that is Mason Mount. Mason Mount is a fundamentally brilliant footballer. It really reminds me of an Andres Iniesta style player with the ball at his feet, but he has that sort of Hakim Ziyech ability to get a shot on goal in the final third. In terms of players, only Ashley Barnes in the Premier League has had more shots on goal than Mason Mount, and his ability to come inside from that left wing is arguably going to be one of the moves of the season in terms of tactics from Lampard. Mason Mount played for Lampard's derby in central midfield and attacking midfield, and now we're seeing him on the left wing. What I love about Mason Mount is his calmness, that when he gets into that penalty area, he has the calmness to slow himself down, do a little chop, and then put the ball into the back of the net. He's going to be a goal-scoring attacking midfielder this season, and the shot numbers really suggest that. He's averaging a shot around every 20 minutes, which is crazy for a central midfielder. He's had the same shots as Raheem Sterling in the Premier League. This guy's going to get goals, and he's going to be a key guy for Lampard, but it is going to be on the left wing for me. I think that with that midfield 3 that we've seen, with the likes of Kovacic, Jorginho, Barkley, and then of course we've got to talk about N'Golo Kante, who will come back into the side. And when he's fully fit, expect N'Golo Kante to definitely be in the starting 11. Kante is one of the best central midfielders in world football. The interesting side is, where does he come in? Because you'd expect it to naturally be for Kovacic, but Kovacic has had really good numbers in terms of dribbles and chances created under Lampard. 3.7 dribbles per game under Lampard and 1.3 chances created, which is massive improvements on his numbers under Sarri. So in fact, Kante maybe even could come in for Ross Barkley. Jorginho as well has kind of shone under Lampard in terms of ball playing aspect. He's been a lot more direct on the ball, looking for the likes of Tammy Abraham or even Mount or Christian Pulisic in behind. His long balls per game has drastically gone up. 5.3 per game versus 3.4 last season. Yes, he's not completing as many as he did last year in terms of the completion rates, but it gives that expansive level. And this midfield will allow Lampard to play Mason Mount on that left wing, which I feel a really good place for him. Technically good, very, very strong in terms of getting shots away, as you mentioned before. Mason Mount, Tammy Abrahams are going to be vitally important for Chelsea going forward. Just to round things off, 100% of Chelsea's goals in the Premier League this season have come from academy graduates. Lampard's Chelsea, the young revolution is coming through. I've been Statman Dave. Make sure, of course, to subscribe if you are new to the SQUAWKA YouTube channel. Again, let's get into the comments below. Who do you think N'Golo Kante will come into Chelsea starting 11 for? Is it going to be Kovacic? Is it going to be Ross Barkley? But it's definitely not going to be Mason Mount. I've been Statman Dave. See you guys later.